As a visa officers, this is something that a big priority for us is students, and it's actually a top priority of our President Obama. He's spoken about student visas and the importance of students coming to the U.S. A top priority of our ambassador to increase the ties between our two great democracies. And so the first thing I want to point out is that we want students to get visas. Despite what some of you might have heard, we don't like denying visas, so we really like giving visas to students because we think it's a great way to get better exchanges and better ties between our countries. So,
myself, Ishwar, ma'am, I want to ask that what makes you to give a student visa, ma'am? What does all things he require?
Well, what we require is that one, when there's a whole process, and one is that you start as a student when you make that decision that you want to study in the U.S. is to do some research. There's some different resources we have, and I think USIEF, and there's an education.state.gov website as well. You want to do some research, find out what you want to study at a good university, because all these steps will make your visa interview that much better. So you're going to find out what schools you want, where you want to go, and then find out what those schools need. And once you've found out that, then you're going to get your I-20 and you'll do your visa appointment. And I think once you're just going to need to do some research and find out for yourself why you want to go to this school, what is it, why you want to study in the U.S., and getting some of that information together, how you're going to pay for it, that's going to make a successful visa interview.
Does all the universities provide scholarship, ma'am?
Some universities will provide scholarships. It really depends on what schools you're looking for.
To be careful when you're doing your research to consider the source. There are a lot of for-profit magazines and institutions that try to direct you towards one university or the other. Sometimes they might get some payment, sometimes not. So you have to make sure that the research you're doing is from a credible source. You're all university students, so you know the importance of your data. So make sure your data is clean.
And I want to ask, what are the reasons to reject a visa?
And as a student visa, those are F visas. You have certain requirements, and the main one is this person into the U.S. to study? Other requirements include ability to pay. And I think if you don't have the ability to pay, if it's obvious, that's one reason to reject. But I think maybe the most common one is that we would have doubts that you're intending to study, that you're actually a credible student.
And can we reapply if we are rejected in fall? Can we reapply for the spring again?
Yes, you can always reapply. If you believe that your circumstances have changed and we can't stop you from applying, so you can always reapply. We do at the visa window, we see people who come, maybe they had received a rejection last week and they come again. We do caution people to really think about when you're reapplying, that if your circumstances have changed, or to be able to explain to the officer maybe something that you weren't able to explain to the other officer before. But we do encourage students to reapply if they believe that they are, like Jim said, a valid student. We do encourage people to reapply.
Thank you.